Go. Okay. So this is what are we doing? We recording?
I mean, we got the gear going, so I'm gonna go with you.
So we're doing Dream Warriors episode 29. Actually, this is episode 29 because there's so much traffic from the Broad Street Run that you're stuck here.
Yeah.
And
lockdown in Philly.
And we're here with Marc. Second time here.
That's right.
And we're talking Terminator Genisys today.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just hit the music and get going.
Alrighty.
We're talking Mac pull downs.
And Pete with a C.
And Pete. Oh, I forgot about that already.
Already?
Yeah,
How did you forget that?
A lot's happened.
I'm documenting everything after I leave.
A lot's happened since we got breakfast. We wake up at like, and I'm talking like we've slept together.
Yeah, we woke up together.
What time did you stumble up? Because you were up.
I woke up at like 7, almost like 10 after 7.
Yeah,
because the light was just shining in my face.
I call that the smoke out.
Yeah,
I told you about that.
Yeah,
that's when like it's
beaming on my face.
Yeah, that's when like Pete has a sleepover guest, and like I love you. Great night. I got things to do right now.
You don't have to go home, but you have to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Mentality.
And you most of the time it's me waking up wanting to do work and get to things, and I leave all my windows open so the light cuts in and smokes them out.
Yeah.
Like and it's me not just being mean, but sometimes it's like
what's that rule of thumb?
Like,
you never want to say, "Hey, can you please go?"
Well, sometimes, like, you know what it is? Sometimes it's like a waitress. Like, the girl's a waitress, or like she works a little bit of the nightlife, like bartender and stuff, like sometimes stripper.
Yeah.
And they have like a different clock, they have a different schedule. Yeah. And even if it's like a Wednesday night and we go into Thursday, like, I'm usually up at between like 5 and 6, like Monday through Friday.
Wow.
Especially now since I cranked up a lot of the like the eBay business again and my side stuff.
Yeah.
Side freelance. And I mean, like, so I try and get into some of my offices by 8. So that means like I gear up around like 7:30. Mm-hmm. Like at the latest, I'm in the shower at 7:30. So 7:30, between 7:30 and 8, I have to call an Uber to get in.
Oh wow.
So between like 5:30 and 7:30, like that's like the momentum I need for like these other streams of revenue.
Yeah.
Period.
That's like Peter's time.
Yeah.
Peter's morning time.
And I need time to like focus and get to things. And like it's morning ritual shit. And it's some of it sounds fucking crazy, but just having time to like read by myself.
Dude, definitely does not do the same thing now. Yeah.
Yeah, like go through all the phases. Like I probably do things I should never admit, but like, I'll put on like an ice mask, like most of the days. I'll take a salt bath in the morning if I have time.
Yeah, you probably should admit those things.
Yeah, but like since
we might edit that out.
But since I've been playing soccer, dude, like I'm banged up on a level that like I was anticipating, but I kind of like shocked at the same time.
Yeah, like
just the way how it lingers.
Yeah,
like it doesn't like I can kill myself in the gym and be sore for like a week.
I'm glad you brought that up because there's I've always had the what I call ping points when I talk to people in there. They're telling me like, well, I do this outside here, but when I come to the gym, it's like I'm so sore. I'm like, well, there's working strength and there's gym strength.
Yeah,
I have a buddy of mine who's a perfect example. He's a mason by trade. He's been working for his dad. They do brick and concrete primarily, like literally 98% of the time. And he was always in the gym with me or on his own, but now he's a father of 2, and he's definitely got that working strength. But when he goes to the gym now, it's more about just staying kind of trim and toned. He's not lifting heavy.
Yeah,
he's not running like a crazy bunch. He's running, but like. He's just trying to. He's like the anti-dad bod, like, and he doesn't have hours upon hours to spend in the gym like we did when we were teenagers, like, or even in our early 20s.
And that's
don't have that no more.
That's something that's like a baseline muscle that I don't have because I started relatively, I was in my 30s when I started.
But even you were just doing you did the whole gym thing. He's got both ends of that, so it's completely different for someone like that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but people forget, like, they can have a manual labor job, they can have ridiculous forearm strength. Like, oh, I went in and I deadlifted, 315 pounds the first time I tried. I'm like, well, that's because you're not doing it right. Yeah. You're holding the weight with your hands and your forearms, not your lats, and your back locked in. You're holding with your arms. Yeah. That's not how you're supposed to do it.
My first round...
It goes into it, but Yeah,
my first round of soccer, what happened was, and I think some of it was from the collisions, but I do think a lot of it was from the stride of my run.
Yeah.
Kind of just like running and being like airborne for that like split second.
Yeah.
Which my body was like...
Meaning airborne like sideways? Like side tackling somebody airborne or just jumping into them?
We don't do side tackling. But it doesn't even matter because there's enough collisions to like you're almost like
it doesn't matter.
Like if we side tackled, we would literally be killing each other. Like there would be blood on the field.
I think we have these kinds of games now.
And just from like the stride of the run, and I didn't do any prep. Like I wanted to do at least like treadmill hill sprints for like a week or two going into this, which I wasn't able to do. It was like very spontaneous. Like I ordered my cleats off of Amazon. Once they had I mostly ordered them because they had the colors I wanted, and I'm like just like click. So like it was like I did that
it's
like
go time.
I did that like had a conversation with the guy on Friday, ordered everything over the weekend. Everything was delivered by Monday. Soccer was like Wednesday. And it was just like I was like I don't even have time to like prep into like doing hill sprints. So I think that just the shock to the system, to my hips.
Yeah.
The hips is what lingered, even though I had like a couple cramp ups during the match.
Yeah.
But it was my hips really like helped. So what I did was like I had to go into like all the hip rehab stuff I was doing before when I had that displacement.
Yeah.
But you know what too? Like after the displacement. Everything corrected itself because I was so disciplined about that stretching.
Yeah.
You know, and
you have to be, yeah.
And there was more like power that definitely comes into my hips now. Like even when I'm deadlifting.
Yeah.
Like that the weight like just locks in.
Yeah.
So, but then it was like now I played soccer, now I have a week of no like real leg workouts other than isolation stuff.
Yeah.
Because I wanted it just to like relax.
Mm-hmm.
And but no, it's fun. Like it was we saw one of the soccer guys today walk into Spread, which is our favorite sandwich breakfast place.
That's right.
I probably maybe there's a place called...
There are places in Philly that still do it right, but this one is just they have like a myriad of good things. They have a good vibe. It's got
oven,
cool people. It's oven made bagels, like brick oven
bagels, which is they say they're like the first ones to ever do that in America. That's what they claim.
Yeah.
We saw it on the sign outside, so it must be true.
It has to be.
It's like...
we didn't see it on Facebook, so it can't be true.
Yeah.
But if you see it on Facebook, it's absolutely true.
It's like in Elf, when he's like...
World's best cup of coffee.
Yeah, like, good job! Like, we're like...
Oh my gosh! Congratulations!
So there was like a little flirty with the girl that took our order, which had beaming diamonds for breasts. The nipple was like...
No, beaming diamonds on her breast.
On her breast.
Not for breasts.
Yeah, on her breast. That we were both...
We don't want to confuse people here.
Staring at the entire time.
And you completely forgot that you ordered what I ordered.
Yeah,
and you didn't even listen to what I ordered.
I get my sandwich and I'm like, yo.
This isn't brisket.
Yeah.
This is eggs.
I had this whole other sandwich plane that was like eggs, brisket, and a really good combo. It was called the... what was the name of that? There was the Carnegie, or right?
The Carnegie, yeah, that's what it was, yeah.
But that was the New York pastrami rye.
Yeah, and I get the standard. We got the standard. Well, I got the standard.
Which is just like chicken sausage or is that with bacon?
No, that was bacon.
Oh,
ours had bacon on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Eggs, bacon, and cheese.
Yeah, I thought you.
Yeah, what was yours called? What was that other one called? That sounded really good.
Like the Executive or
not the Reuben.
Excelsior. Diamondback. I'm just saying cool things. The Roundhouse. So
the Roundhouse.
The one place I want to go that supposedly has amazing egg sandwiches is called Egg Slut. And it's...
Dude, where do people go with the names of these businesses?
Like, how's that even, like, acceptable? Yeah. Like, how can
you advertise that?
A local business bureau, like, say, okay, like, this is the shop you can open in our neighborhood.
Well, I mean,
like,
I hate to say this, but money makes the world go around, so you never know who's the money behind that. You never know, dude.
Well, it could, yeah.
Or who they know. You never know who they know. Maybe they know the person on the board of the Chamber of Commerce in Philly, and they approve it. And it's like, boom, stamped approved.
Yeah.
Like, the business license guy at the clerk's office, like, it's my cousin.
Let's see here. Like, I'm hitting their website right now.
Where are they at?
Wait, you know what, though? Dude, all right, so they're in California. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? Maybe one of the people I follow on... Maybe this is something else. I follow a lot of Philadelphia foodie people on Instagram.
Yeah.
And they always post egg slut, and I never really looked them up until now. I don't see them that they're in Philly. They're in California, Nevada, California. So unless they have a location in Philly that's not listed on their website. Let me see. I'm hitting Yelp real quick. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe egg slut is... Yeah, they're only in Los Angeles.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's something less for us to do, and no pressure. Dude, get this stuff. Like, here's... You want to see, like, on Yelp, dude? They have 4,000 plus reviews. 7,000 pictures.
Wow.
Yeah. 4,000 reviews, 7,000 pictures.
Jeez,
that's a social.
That's next level.
Yeah, this is
next level ish.
We talk about this stuff a lot, and they develop something that called on. Actually, you know what? A lot of the sandwiches come with a fork in them. Like, you kind of eat some of it out before you can fit it into your mouth.
Yeah, kind of like the Cafe Lift burrito I got.
Yeah,
which isn't on the menu anymore, dude. Lasted 2 weeks, took it off the menu. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, that.
So I think they realized they were losing money with that. All the steak and eggs they had to put in that thing.
Yeah, I guess they didn't have it when you were there for your Tinder date this week.
Yeah.
No.
No, you didn't have it. Yeah, didn't have it. Yeah.
What's the name? Wasn't your waitress? Was it? Sophie. Sophia.
No. No, it was the other chick that was there. I forget her name. She's a really cool chick, though.
Yeah. So,
and I talked to the manager, actually. I got him by the ATM when I was waiting, because his office is, like, right there.
Oh, okay.
And it's, like, hidden behind. Like, he has to, like, halfway open the door, make sure he's not hitting somebody at the ATM, because it's right there.
Yes.
And we got to chat, and really cool guy. And that's one of those guys where, we go there enough times, me and you, just, like, on a random Sunday or Saturday morning hangout of, like, post partying or post hangout.
Yeah,
and he'll be one of those guys where he'll wind up hitting one of us up and like, hey man, we got this new sandwich, you got to come by and check it out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It'll take time, but I can see that being, because he's just a really cool guy. Talking to him, he went back to school because I asked him, like, hey, how long you been doing this? How long you been here? Are you the owner? Are you the manager? Blah blah blah. Like, kind of getting him pumped up.
Yeah.
And he was really really easy going. That was the guy with the beard and the glasses.
Yeah, I see him there all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the manager there.
So Pete with a C came from when we went to Spread Bagel, and
you made me correct.
Well, you ordered. She said, "What's your name?" You said Mark, and she put a K, and I said, "It's Mark with a." You didn't tell her it's Mark with a C.
Why didn't you tell her? I was like, because I don't care.
Yeah, so like you
care more than I care about my first name.
And this is like, now she's dealing with us. The customer right before us had a screaming toddler, like 3-year-old.
Yeah, toddler.
Yeah, and it was really like that Family Guy skit where Stewie's like, Mom, yeah,
Mom,
and she's like,
Mom.
What?
Hi.
Yeah, it's like, hi.
Except this kid was like asking like really intellectual questions.
Yeah,
he's like, I want to buy this, and she's like, no, Timmy, this has to be bought separately. It doesn't come with it. I'm like, what is this kid you're talking about? Like,
well, it's all those Rich Rittenhouse kids.
Yeah, stop teaching your kid quantum physics at 2, please.
Yeah, the kid's asking for some like Rolf.
What's the return on investment on this compass spread?
He's asking her like the freaking the Norwegian conversion rates. for day trading, and you're like what? But no, and so when it came to me, I just said, I'll like same thing that he's have, and I was like, what bagel did you get yours on? You said everything, and then she's like, sesame's better.
She's like, no, you should get yours on sesame. I was like, whoa, I'm like, come on, lady, like.
Yeah, and then when it came to my name, I said Pete with a C.
Yeah, and she wrote it. She wrote PETCE or something like the C was like in the middle of your name.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and she was trying though. She was trying, but
she was definitely. Yeah, you could feel the flirting vibes.
Yeah, you said that immediately after, like when we sat down.
Dude, I can pick up on that stuff. It's crazy, and I'll tell people.
You pick up on it more than me, because to me, I'm like, yeah, they're just being nice. Like, that's always how I look at it.
You know what's funny is that women always say, you can't just be nice anymore nowadays without think a guy is flirting with you.
Yeah.
But there's a huge difference. Being nice is smiling, saying hi, or saying thank you. It's not interacting with sarcasm and, playing into something when you have a line of people out the door. Like, there's a time and a place for it, and you can tell that being nice and just laughing and having fun, but keeping it moving and flirting. Like, she kept us at the register longer than we needed to be.
She actually did. And but here's the funny thing. Like,
which I don't care.
I'm nice to everybody. And girls always think I'm, like, flirting and sometimes, like, crossing the line.
Yeah.
And so that's where, like...
Although you are a habitual line stepper.
Yeah, well, I'm always... Like, I think I start on the line. Like, you know how...
You're like 1 foot already over the line.
Yeah, like, you know how, like, some people creep up to it and they put a toe on and then they back off. They put a toe on.
You're straddling the line
and they back off.
On a habitual basis.
I'm just like, this is our starting point.
Yeah.
And
I want to
like,
broad jump off this line.
Yeah, we're together in this.
There's no turning back. You have no choice now.
Yeah. It's like
from Genisys. Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah, come with me. There was
get in the chopper.
Yeah, and real quick. So what happened with? I guess we got into Genisys, Terminator Genisys, which is the 1, 2, 3, fifth of the overall franchise. There was also a animated movie around, like, animated, like, web series that came out around Salvation. I think that's called Machine Wars. And then,
really?
Yeah, which is like...
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I think combined it might be like 45... I didn't look it up, but it might be like 60 minutes long combined. And then there's a Chronicles of Sarah Connor TV show that lasted roughly 2 seasons.
Yeah, which I think was the lifespan of what that could have been. I mean, we always say that, like, how did they expect it to be more than 2 or 3 seasons? Like, what? I mean, we all know what happened, so...
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess that's always, like, what like, their top sell is, because, like, it's like, all right, like, they want to continue the franchise. There's always interest in the franchise. People just love it. It doesn't matter. Like, people just love Terminator.
Yeah, it's time travel. It's machines versus humans.
War,
it's apocalyptic. It's all the good makings of a good series or a good movie.
And they're always trying with the franchise, and like, it's like mostly now consider what people consider. It's far worse. It just progressively gets worse. It progressively gets disappointment. No one's really happy with anything that they're doing with the Terminator movies, but they'll continuously buy, like, the merchandise, the T-shirts, the action figures.
Yeah,
like, like, I'm sure the soundtracks still sell, because the Brad Fiedel, he's the guy that came up with the dum 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 dum.
Yeah,
like, that's just as classic as the Star Wars intro theme and Indiana Jones and anything by John Williams. But so we were out last night.
Well, it first came up because when I hit you up when I was on my way down, you were saying you just got done watching Genisys.
I did, yeah.
And I was like, oh, seed has been planted.
And then we got into it.
Let's watch it grow.
Yeah, and then you're like, let's watch it later. Because I was, because we talked, like, right when it finished for me, and I was like, I don't know what the deal is. Like, people hate this movie, and every time I watch it, I kind of, like, get into it.
Yeah.
Like, I love how it opens. You can even watch, like, Back to the Future 2 and 3, and just see, like, gaps and contradictions in the logic of their time travel.
Yep.
You can watch any of, like, these Star Trek episodes that had the same, like, idea. There's always breaks in logic when you come with time travel. Like, because, like, at the end of the day, you're not making a perfect time travel story. Like, you're still making a movie.
Yeah.
And sometimes things have to happen in the movie to make it watchable, not have things, like, explained to the point that you're out of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, like, and that's where, like, there's always, like, a balance.
Like we talked about in the beginning, so the quintessential scene from the very first Terminator, they reenact.
Yeah,
with Bill Paxton in it as, like, those gang kids, or, like,
the
conservatory,
the 80s gang. But Bill Paxton with, like, the like,
faux hawk. Yeah, actually, no, it was a real mohawk back then.
Yeah, but it's like, but the funny thing is, like, you're a gang at a, just hanging around telescopes.
Yeah,
like
with a switchblade.
Like that. Like, this is what you do with your gang days. You're at scientific centers where people go and study stars and. like, I'm sure people meet there to like do their little like college classes.
And, like drawings and stuff.
Yeah, like you know, like
their
Boy Scouts, probably the local Boy Scouts go there, like in the 80s.
It was a conservatory, it was right in front of the conservatory, right?
Yeah,
in LA.
But it's like there's a fucking gang.
Yeah,
like
3 guys.
We're so tough. We're a science gang. Like it's like the funniest thing. But yeah, like even that scene, like
we're talking how you proposed a question, like if they knew he was going to be there, and why did the Terminator that stuck around to protect her from as a child, Pops, why didn't they just snipe him right out of the gate instead of having him even have to fight him for a second?
Yeah, and Pops is aging.
Yeah,
like why would you risk it?
Yeah, why take the chance of him like breaking something?
And that's the exact point. It's like you're making a movie.
Yeah.
You're making the movie.
Yep. It's an awesome scene to have.
What's better in this movie than introing a awesome looking CGI Schwarzenegger, which no one gives credit to because everyone talks about how weird Jeff Bridges looked in Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
And then how like realistic Grand Moff Tarkin, which was one of the guys that they used, that they kind of resurrected for Star Wars Rogue One. Yeah. So that's like your thing, and then along the line, there's been like a couple of digital de-agings, but like I think the middle moving forward is the work that they did on the Schwarzenegger model.
Yeah. In
this movie, where it just looks legit.
Yeah.
Like it looks awesome.
Just looks like him,
like who cares? It's a little bit off, but what special effect isn't?
Yeah.
Like,
and for how on it is,
yeah,
I'm like, dude, look, that looks like it could have been him.
Yeah, and what better way to intro the old Schwarzenegger, like the real Schwarzenegger fighting his younger self?
Yeah,
like you want that scene.
Yeah,
and okay, like
who wasn't a naked Schwarzenegger fighting a clothed old Schwarzenegger?
Yeah,
that's the scene.
And it's still even to the point that if the old Schwarzenegger knew the younger, like the original version was going to show up, like why not have like a booby trap or have something to like sneak him and get like an upper hand real quick, as opposed to going toe to toe, which you can't do because you're decomposing.
Yeah. Kinda. Well, no, you can't. You shouldn't.
Right.
You shouldn't.
And you shouldn't.
Yeah.
There's like 2 points with that, but that's not the point. The point of the scene is
the movie's better with that scene.
Yeah. Modern day Schwarzenegger versus the CGI old Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
The new versus old. Okay. It's like a fantasy thing.
Yeah.
And it's worked awesome for the trailers, for the advertising. It was one of the pieces of the advertising that's like, this is what we're doing with this movie. Confused the hell out of people because people didn't know how to take Legacy or Genisys going into it. But it
was just part of the draw to go see it. It was like, dude, I don't know what this even. How are they doing this again?
Yeah,
like what take are they going to do now? Like it's
and we discussed like the reverse whitewashing of the Robert Patrick, the T-1000 from T2 Judgment Day, the second Terminator movie where he's played by the Asian guy, Storm Shadow from the G.I. Joe movies.
Yeah.
That's why I know him as.
I know, yeah.
Storm Shadow
strikes again.
The liquid metal dude, and we were watching that, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't care if he was a white guy in T2. I'm like the role doesn't even the role is so like how you look. Yeah, it's a visual role. Like there's no. You don't really speak.
Yeah.
So you have someone that just looks cool in a cop uniform.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like that Asian dude looked. Like I'm sure if I was a girl, like well maybe me on the Wednesday night, if that guy pulled me over, on the Wednesday night and I saw him, I'd be like, yo man, like cop time, like arrest me, officer. I'm so into it. Man. But yeah, so like the beginning of Genisys is, I just think it's solid. I'm not sure they could do anything else different because they
and they find a way to tie in the young cop to the old cop at the end, and there's pivotal tie-ins from their time travel in the movie that they would have had to come up with other story plot twists to allow them to escape certain situations and to do certain things.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where like the whole Terminator thing period is better if you just go with it.
Yeah,
because relatively, it's a story that should only exist in one movie. So what happens when you have a movie like Terminator, and then like there's such a popularity, and then you have like a rise of a filmmaker like James Cameron, okay, that can go, that wants to go back to it, okay, and essentially remake the movie. That's what T2 is. It's a remake of the original. Okay, but you remake your first movie, which has been done before. Like there was a Desperado by Robert Rodriguez. That's like technically a remake of El Mariachi. Like even though it's a sequel, but it's kind of like the same. Like it's the same thing with Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek.
Funny side note. I call him Banderas because for whatever reason I can never remember his last name as a kid, so I used to always call him Bebereras.
Oh,
Antonio Bebereras.
I thought you were going to say Bandana. No. I always just call him Antonio Bandana.
They're like, dude, who are you talking about? I'm like, they had the black hair. He was that guitar player in that one movie with Salma Hayek. They're like,
the guitar player.
Banderas? I'm like, Antonio Bebereras. I was like, why do you call him that? I'm like, I don't know.
Ow.
I can remember his last name. It's just what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, and there's a few other examples that are like, even I think we see a little bit more of it today, like Jurassic World.
Oh yeah,
kind of like remake of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Star Wars Force Awakens, kind of like remake of Star Wars New Hope.
Yeah.
Or as we say, Star Wars, because that's what it was for the longest time, and then it was Empire and then Return. But whatever.
Yeah.
We just have to call it New Hope now. Have to. You have to do it. You can't just say Star Wars and people are like, oh, which one?
Yeah.
I don't know. The one with the original title, Star Wars. Ace Hat. I'm telling you, you're not listening. But no, and the like the overall though, it's like Genisys kind of like booted into like a new arena. No one really knew exactly what to expect from the advertising.
Yeah,
and then like the one break through the advertising was that they kind of gave away their like real. Like the real plot twist, which was that John Connor is going to come into the movie as the villain.
Yeah, and
I think that's what killed somewhat like the expectation going into the movie.
Yeah,
because people saw what the twist was.
Yeah,
and but I don't know. Like, who knows if that stuff works? I mean, there's plenty of movies where they show you everything, like Furious 8, Fate of the Furious.
Yeah, you know submarine coming out of the ground.
Yeah, like
but you know how it gets to that point.
Submarine, Charlize Theron, Vin
Diesel.
There's like a secret. Yeah. Okay, that Diesel turns. That they're not giving up on him because of family. Like all of these points in that movie are there. The camaraderie between The Rock and Jason Statham was okay. That was like cool, but then again. Like, why would you have that in the advertising anyway? Because it's a small part of that movie.
Yeah.
But essentially, the movie was the Fate of the Furious trailers. Worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yep.
They do it for this movie, it fails. So who knows? Like, there's no real science. But
there's no secret. I would call secret sauce to what previews are going to work and what previews aren't going to work.
Yeah.
But you hit the nail on the head where there's a lot of movies I feel that they give you the best stuff. Or most of the best stuff in the trailer, and people are typically like, well, it still looks like a cool movie. I still want to go see it, even if I already saw all the best parts.
Yeah,
you're still going to get revenue from it because we want to see how the entire movie rolls out, and not just the best parts. And they tie it in well.
I talked about this a little bit with the previous episode.
Yeah,
it's like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Mm-hmm.
It, like, gave away so many of the comedic punches in their trailers.
Yeah.
And you knew jokes when they were happening because of the trailers.
Yeah.
And it was still funny if it was seen like with an audience. But if you take if you take the audience out of like watching it for the first time, you're kind of just saying to yourself, you're like, okay, like I've seen this joke.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, like you're almost like, damn, and
why'd they do that to me?
Yeah, what's
like you took the joy away from me discovering this myself.
Yeah, because like all the Baby Groot sticks were essentially like in the trailers. A lot of the Drax stuff, Batista, who's phenomenal. He's so funny. You kind of knew like what his attitude would be like within the movie, and you saw some of his big jokes in like the trailers.
Yeah,
and he's essentially another comedic element, which he wasn't in the first movie, but his character changed.
Yeah,
he became more human by the end of Guardians 1. So in this one, he's open to like humor because he's kind of discovered humor for the first time.
Yeah.
And they're not just using him as a comedic thing. It's actually like a part of the character now.
Yeah.
Like he's going through this discovery of humor. So it's like the things that, like, just how he reacts to things is like so freaking funny. And then it's less of a Chris Pratt driven movie. Like Chris Pratt's in the movie a lot, but he's the driving force behind it now, like he was in the first one. I mean, like everything is like Kurt Russell's like the mechanic behind like what the drama is, but it's not really like what Chris Pratt is doing type thing. You know, like the characters have splintered off and again, but it's just like it's an example to like even Guardians how the trailers took away some of the comedic punch, but yeah, like I think Genisys though it was also. People had expectations going in. Like,
grander expectations of what they were going to do. And it didn't seem to live up to everyone's.
And it's weird because we're still dealing with a robot, futuristic, like,
plot.
Like time travel robot. It's a time travel robot movie.
Yeah.
Like, where are we going anyway?
Yeah. What do you expect to happen? There's going to be robot human fight scenes.
Yeah.
Somehow they're going to win. You don't know how. You're waiting to see how.
Yeah, it's just I mean, it's just like what else can how more can you drill?
Yeah,
you can't. And now
they even took it a step further with they explain or you learn how John Connor gets infected with the synthetic blood.
Yeah,
that then actually alters his entire body structure to where the layer of skin and all that on top of him seems to be even smaller and thinner and more versatile than the Terminator
I like all of the design of Genisys. I like the design of the Connor Terminator, it being like another advanced thing that's emerging. Whatever, like every movie one-ups the Terminator.
Yep.
So it doesn't.
So they didn't slack there.
Yeah.
They brought in the first one, the second one, and the new one. So they didn't slack there.
Right.
They show an assault on a compound.
Yeah.
And how they get to where they got.
Yeah.
They do a lot of backstory that you didn't see before in other movies.
And they even paid homage to T3 with the highway bridge scene.
Motorcycle. Yep.
Yeah. And then like motorcycle, like all of it. So there's nods of the other three movies. They ignored Salvation, but whatever. Yeah. I think everyone does. And I don't know why either, because I think even Salvation, just when it comes to like future war thing, like there's very few like apocalyptic future movies, period.
They did do a good job on it.
Yeah, and like this one, it's a small pool to draw from, but Salvation would be in one of your top post-apocalyptic movies like of all time. It would just be in there, just out of like lack of a competition.
Choice,
yeah, okay, but it's still rises to the top of that category.
Yeah,
but the Terminator franchise is interesting because I think the high horse geeks, the influencers, have taken over the conversation of like what you should expect from this franchise.
Yeah, they should do. Like they feel entitled as to like the course of direction for this franchise, and it's like, wait a second, you have nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah, well, right.
You're not on the casting crew.
Like, you don't even know. Like
you're on the creative team.
and you never know. You really never know how things end up in movies.
Yeah,
like you never know. You got thousands of people working on it. Mm-hmm. Great scenes could not even make the editing bay because something happened with the sound while it was shot.
Yeah,
or like you never know.
Yeah, yep.
But the thing is though. We were talking about this last night when we came back. Liquored up, of course.
Mm-hmm. There's no other way.
The original ending for Terminator Salvation. Yeah, and I looked this up to like verify. Essentially, had who's the guy in that? The guy from
Christian Bale.
And who's the other guy? The guy from Clash of the Titan movies.
Yeah.
Not Tom Hardy.
No,
but he's like a poor man's Tom Hardy.
Kinda, yeah.
He's like the guy from Avatar.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The Avatar.
Well, he's a wheelchair. He's wheels from Avatar.
Yeah, the wheelchair guy from Avatar and Christian Bale. I know he plays a character named Marcus because I remember that from the article I read last night. So Marcus takes over John Connor's like consciousness or like body. Or he becomes John Connor. So the original ending was that John Connor dies. They put John Connor's likeness on Marcus. And then Marcus assassinates the entire command of the Resistance.
Oh,
and the Terminators win at the end, and they fade to black. He kills everybody. Right. And that was the original ending of the movie. And the studio wanted it. Christian Bale wanted it. Everyone wanted it.
Yeah. And
then something happened while they were putting that movie together where it just didn't really feel natural.
Yeah.
So Mick G, who got ripped apart for that movie, he's the director. He's MCG.
Yeah.
Just leave that one there. That's your name. Mick G. Okay. They did another ending. Okay. Yeah. And Mick G may not be able to explain it other than we watched our own movie and it didn't work.
Yeah.
It just didn't work.
We had to come up with so what their alternative was that his heart, which was still human.
Yeah.
Well, the one part of him that was still human was transferred to John Connor because John Connor was injured in the rescue of of his future father as a child.
Yeah, so they kind of
I just love saying that.
Yeah, so they found a way to get something similar, but at the same time, what does Genisys do? They do what Salvation wanted to do.
And, they just did it a better way. Came with a better way to do it. Yeah.
And no one likes it.
Yeah.
So maybe Mick G was right. Maybe Mick G was hey, maybe we should pull this because I think we're ahead of ourselves.
We're destroying the fan base that keeps us current. Yeah. And is going to keep us revenue based.
We just had a dark side possessed Superman kill the entire Justice League at the end of the Justice League movie.
Something about this doesn't mesh well with everybody.
Real quick, I'm getting a phone call. I gotta take this because Norm's supposed to come in later.
Okay.
And I'm supposed to check traffic for him. So we're just going to pause real quick.
Sounds good.
We're back. We're back real quick. So that's an example of the ripple.
Yeah.
Where we have a pond. A pebble hits the pond. It creates a ripple for Peter. And it's
Peter with a C.
It's Peter with a C. And it's a management nightmare because I have to go outside, check the traffic, check everything the parking lot that's near my building. Check out the area so Norm knows what to expect when he drives in.
Yeah.
So it's and we're recording because you essentially got stuck here, and we likely discuss doing Terminator Genisys as a little bit of a topic next time we record it. Yeah. So we just threw this together. So and that's where we are.
That is A-okay.
That's where we are. So overall, you're not a super geek. You're not dedicated to the Tao of the geek.
No, but I'm an unofficial movie connoisseur.
You just love movies.
Because I love movies. I quote them all the time.
You're a guy that loves movies.
Yeah, and I quote everything beyond belief of movies.
You might know James Cameron did Terminator 1 and 2. I don't even know if you know that. You might know that.
Yeah.
But you don't know who did Salvation. You don't know who directed Terminator 3.
Nope.
You don't know any of that.
Nope.
Don't
care.
Yeah. But you watch movies, you know if you like them or not.
I know what's good, man. And every Terminator is good for its own reason.
Yeah,
dude, it's a futuristic robot traveling through time.
Yeah,
to kill people.
And you know what? Too, I say
that?
The same thing about Terminator 3, which people love to hate on.
Yeah,
and you watch that movie, and you're kind of John Connor in that movie is probably the most developed John Connor.
Yeah,
because he's he doesn't know what to do with his life, and he's off the grid, and he's breaking into
a vet to freaking because he spills on his motorcycle, and he's trying to
and then she locks him in the cage, and that's kind of
that's how that goes.
Yeah, someone made that decision.
Yep.
I think that's one of those decisions where I don't care what you did for this movie, sir.
You made the decision to lock the main character in a dog cage.
We're not explaining this one.
Yeah.
But dude,
there's no batch processing to explain. So why did we go with this idea and not a plethora of the other options
there,
we could have?
They literally have everything at their disposal. No one says can we
not lock him in a cage?
Is there something else we can do?
I hate to say it. I hate to bring the F word into it, but it might have been a feminist.
Well, now they probably retroed it. Yeah. Probably a feminist made that decision. And it's like, that really wasn't back during that time. Like, it didn't come back at all. But no, and still, like, the third one, I love the crane chase scene. Where he, like, drops the crane into the sewer.
Yeah.
And, like,
because she's on the thing.
Yeah, like, and he, like, flips it, and it goes, like, vertical.
And that's, I think, the bus scene.
Yeah, and the wheel spins off.
Yeah.
Like, the wheel spins off in both movies. It's, like, the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And just, like, like, Terminator!
And I feel like, and this might be a far stretch, and maybe I'm connecting dots that aren't there, which, I do a lot. But...
Oh, they're there.
Did they pay homage? Did they get the idea for Fate of the Furious, for the AI car tech from the Terminator 3, where she took over all the cars?
Yeah, where she gets over, where she know
what? She can take over any mechanical...
I did think about that, where she's like, whistling to them or sending out
signal. She touches them with her thing.
Oh, right,
with her pointer finger.
Well,
and it goes into like a...
I would say 100%, because like even the T2, the T1000, the guy from the second movie, activates the dead Terminator from Terminator 1.
Just by dripping himself.
Which is, alright, like, you can make arguments for, like, well, he failed from a hardware problem. Yeah. And it looks like it's a software boot.
Yeah.
The thing or whatever. So, I don't know, like, you need the hardware to move parts. That's why it's hardware, but I don't care. It's still cool as hell.
Yeah.
Like, you're almost like, yo, he's that powerful. Like, they found, like, another way to use what he can do.
Yeah.
But then it's just still, like, it always comes back to, why not just send the most advanced Terminator back. To do this?
And more than one of them.
Yeah.
Why only send one? Because
even when we were watching this last night, and they open up the bay
for the Terminator to come out,
they crane out the one to drop them in, and there was like a room full of like Terminator
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. It's like, why not just activate all of them if like you're losing the war and like you have this invading force coming in?
I made the point that they already know that they're going to win. Because the apocalypse keeps happening.
Yeah. Well,
so they know that whatever they're doing, ultimately, they're always winning that. Yeah. It's happening some way, some form.
And it's like a philosophical
debate,
ping pong match, because if the whole point from like T3 on, so T3 Salvation and this movie all approach the idea that no matter what, Judgment Day will happen, which is how T3 ends, which is awesome.
Yeah.
They launch all the missiles, and you're just like, it was like, the twist in that is like, they were going to the bunker to save their lives, not to prevent...
They didn't realize... Well, no, they didn't know.
Yeah,
they sent to the bunker, like, that was Skynet's, like,
and
off-site hard drive
was the
to
twist.
destroy.
Yeah, it was like, awesome twist at the end of that movie. And so, if Judgment Day can only be delayed, not prevented, like, we've established that, then the machines losing the future war would have the same scenario. So the machines would always lose the future war. Yeah. So John Connor would always win the war for the humans.
Yeah.
So at that point, why like, I get it, like, you want to prevent the apocalypse.
Yeah.
But okay, once you know it's happening for sure, like, you're almost like, all right, we have to go through
Yeah.
Like
billions of people have to die in order for us to restart humanity,
or whatever. Like, whatever way you reason with it, in your future version of yourself, like, you gotta cross that bridge.
It's gonna happen.
So, like, but and this is why these movies are fun, because they have this type of like debate. Time travel movies open up these types of debates like no other type of science fiction movie does. It is the absolute fun of any type of time travel movie. Is it unlocks a part of your mind that builds scenarios. You extrapolate. You try and make correlations. You connect A to B.
Yeah.
There's ifs, ands, or buts that run through your mind the entire time, and it is a little bit of a mental exercise when you watch time travel movies.
Yeah.
That's why they're appealing. That's why they've never gone away. That's why, with or without Terminator, if Terminator 2 flopped, or Terminator 3 was like a huge disaster, well, kind of, but like more of a disaster, like, something else is going to come along to fill that need that people have.
And you know what that need was? Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh, I love Hot Tub Time Machine.
You have an 80s classic actor, 80s, 90s, John Cusack,
in
a movie about a hot tub And Chevy Chase is in this movie. And Craig Davidson, who's hysterical.
Dude.
And they had a sequel to that movie, which was horrific, and yet still hysterical.
I don't know why. I remember watching that movie with you, loving it.
Hot Tub Time Machine 2?
Yeah.
Well, we loved it because we were looking it up.
Yeah, but you know what's funny?
They kick it up a notch,
dude. You know what's funny in that? The AI car assassinating people.
Oh yeah,
which just happened. One of Uber's cars hit someone, the auto drive ones, because they
was it Uber or was it Volvo? I remember Volvo had that thing where Volvo posted a video of their engineers, 2 engineers standing in front of them.
Yeah,
and the car went and it was supposed to stop and it ran them over.
No,
it hit them.
This is
that was 6 months ago.
This was it picked someone up and it ran someone over.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Dude, it might have been in Pittsburgh because I think that's where they're test marketing those cars.
That sounds familiar. I
dude, it was I read that and I'm like, Hot Tub Time Machine 2. It predicted it.
Well, I think I know what we're going to be watching next and the main discussion for our podcast next.
Yeah.
Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
I'm gonna look that up here. Uber auto drive car accident. Let's just see what comes up real quick.
Well, you should put Uber auto car drive death.
Volvo sticking with Uber. Uber's self-driving car crash causes suspension of program. So Google and Uber are the two that have pushed it. But no,
don't forget Tesla.
Yeah,
Tesla's they were on the forefront.
Yeah, car accident. Oh, hold up. Vehicle technology caused by self-driving. Experimenting with Uber's automated. No major injuries. A self-driving car crash is chilling to me for. All right, so I don't know. Might have been Uber, could have been Google, but Google has. If you live near Google, they send automated cars to pick you up. You get picked up in a Google car with no driver if you live near Google and work for them.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
See, it's awesome in my mind, but then, and like anything else, you become desensitized to something. So if you're doing that every day for 3 years, you become used to it. That becomes the norm. And then when you have an Uber driver, when you got to go somewhere else, it's that becomes weird to you.
Yeah.
When the norm is a car that drives itself and takes you to work. But just the concept of that to me is I'm looking at things from a different perspective. I love the technology side of things. I think it's awesome that we're getting to that point. But my issue is maybe twofold. One, I don't want Terminator, the premise, to become a reality.
Yeah.
Number one, on some weird futuristic level. Two, that's more comical than anything else than serious. But two, I like the interaction because I'm trying to batch process for my business, batch process for things that we talk about, and that all revolves around networking with people. And who better to network than with someone who sees a bunch of different people?
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of not having an Uber driver. You know what I mean? I like seeing what's the variation I'm getting in Uber drivers.
Yeah.
Asking them questions. Hey, quick question. Do you make money doing this? Or, hey, quick question. What's the craziest Uber story you have for me? And then to talk about that later in something else, something like this.
Yeah.
So I don't actually look forward to the day where we don't have drivers for things.
So real quick, here's the just something too. Self-driving Tesla was involved with fatal crash, killed someone.
Oh, wow.
Tesla, yeah.
We're at in Russia. I don't really care if it's in Russia.
It looks like it was in Detroit.
Oh, all right. Now I care.
LOL. I guess you gotta be there for car stuff. I guess for supply pipeline, all the suppliers still operate through Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah. See, now I care because it was actually in the U.S. border.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm concerned.
Now I'm actually.
Yeah. But no, it's.
I'm outraged.
But
on U.S. soil.
The one time travel movie that will always resonate with me. I'll sit down any time of the day with someone who hasn't seen it. I watch it endlessly. Is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh my gosh!
It's
classic.
It's so it's a lot like Hot Tub Time Machine, where it's such a crazy abstract idea.
Yeah.
You have to absorb the idea to sit down and watch the movie.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch that movie and follow it because what's happening, but at the same time, that's the whole idea. But
this is what makes me. This is the disconnect when you break that movie down. So who's the comedian who passed away who played the time traveler?
George Carlin.
Yeah, George Carlin. So he explains to them that as a result of them failing that presentation, that they become disconnected and they never form their band. Or their band never takes off.
Yeah.
But then they say that the future was based off of their music and created world peace.
Yeah.
But if the band never got created, how did that happen in the future?
Right.
So they refute what happened.
Well, here. But
then how did it happen?
No, here's the thing. So, like, logically speaking, and you see this in the opening scene of Back to the Future. When you see Marty's original family in Back to the Future, that is the end of that timeline. So his original future, his father was insecure.
Yeah.
If you listen to the mother hates her life.
Yeah.
Like she makes so many low comments about like not being happy. Yeah. Like ending up with their father.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Marty is a shade of like their like family line.
Yeah.
Where Marty kind of like still falls into like the trap of being called chicken and things like that, which you saw in like the third movie.
Yeah, you saw it in all of them.
Yeah, so and Biff like Biff makes a crack in the original Back to the Future. He makes a crack about like raping the mother. When they get into the car accident, he's like, "Say hello to your mother for me."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yo, you fucking like he raped her in that timeline."
Well, he tried to.
No. That's the corrected timeline. That's where Marty interfered, or he got George to interfere.
Yeah.
But in the original like timeline, she got raped because he's insecure. They still ended up together.
Oh yeah.
So it's a different moment. He adjusted the moment.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay.
I never thought about that.
Okay, yeah, and like the original, like the opening of Back to the Future, you're like, yo, like. The shit sucks, man. Even though it's the 80s,
yeah,
it sucks. Like, nothing ever sucked in the 80s. But no, and
man, we found something.
Yeah, so
wow, I never. So my mind's blown.
So
right
at
now.
that point, like that timeline is over. So now the future that we like in Back to the Future is the new one that Marty accidentally created while interfering in that scene. And Doc says that. Doc says, "Oh." Well, he's like, they did the same thing, but it had different circumstances leading up to it. It's like, he said this could have repercussions later. Yeah. And that's what they never really go back to it.
Yep.
Okay?
All right, so let's flash to Bill and Ted then and apply that same theory.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that in the future of whatever the future is, they realize that the music of these guys is the key to creating harmony for their society. So they go back beyond a point to prevent these guys from being separated.
Right, yeah.
And facilitating them, ensure that it happens.
Right. So for whatever reason, okay, like it's almost like the future. When George Carlin comes back, okay, what they're doing is the same as Terminator. Okay, they're coming back to prevent something. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, though, in Terminator, they're trying to prevent something from happening. Okay, and the difference is in Bill and Ted's. George Carlin comes back to enable something to happen.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's almost like they have to know that they're ending, like they're splintering a timeline. That they're finding a way for these two guys to stay together because for whatever reason in the future, you don't really know how that music resonated. Like in the future, they could have, like Bill could have went to like military school, but they could have had separate lives and still did the music, and the music resonated into the future, and they could have come back because what happens is like, isn't there like is that the second one where like there's like the hostile takeover, like the guy it's the second one where the guy like breaks in and does like the hostile takeover of like the future council. And then George Carlin like goes back, and then, but dude, the second one's even worse because they kill Bill and Ted.
Yeah,
they kill him.
They kill him.
They throw him off of a cliff,
and they have to go to hell.
They
have to play the Undertaker in every board game, and he never loses ever. He's never lost, and he keeps Battleship Twister.
Yeah, and it's like they beat him in like best out of 3. Yeah, and then like the football guy gets the touchdown, and they're like best out of 5, and he's like, "You're damn right." I love that. It cracks me up. But no, so like that's the way you have to consider these movies. Yeah, it's none of them start with a linear timeline.
Yeah,
they begin with the ending of a timeline.
Yeah.
And then like we're creating like a new thread because there's interference.
Well, and anytime you ever get a movie or a show or anything that actually ever gets into the discussion of time travel with any kind of scientific basis in it, is they always tell you have to stop thinking about time as linear.
Right.
You can't think about it as linear because it's not linear.
No, it's
our understanding of it's linear, but it's really not.
Yeah.
To understand time travel, and that's where it always. That's usually the starting point for most of those discussions.
I mean, like when it comes to like gray
accurate or not, I'm saying.
Like when it comes to gray matter, when it comes to like I told you the other night, dude, I was out with a girl. Mm-hmm. Her and I were having such a good time that it went from 7:30 to 1:30.
Yeah,
and we had no idea. We actually went to another bar. Thinking we had time and we had no time, and we're almost like, wow, we should never even left. Yeah. But like both of us, like we almost like that. To me, that's like time traveling. That's like you're almost like speeding up space and you're slowing it down. If you consider the notion, okay, which is supposedly like 100% true, or things that that they like to say, is that like you really never forget anything. But you have to build channels in your mind to access memories when you need to. Yeah. Same as like a filing cabinet. Yeah. So like, how's that not time traveling? A lot of times like we remember things differently, and that's like our consciousness coming in, covering things up, maybe like like something traumatic, and like like your mind will like almost like autocorrect itself so you can move on with your life. Like it'll find ways to do that, sometimes more harmful than
the thing I've learned
than others.
That nowadays at this age, in my early 30s, is a smell or a song or a sound or something will take me back like better part of 2 decades to a specific memory of a time and place, and I can remember it vividly because it was sort of my long-term memory. Yeah. And it made it pass short-term into long-term. And it was burned into my psyche, but I haven't accessed that memory in 10 years. A lot of people refer to that as a temporary time travel.
Yeah, no, I mean it really is like
because you can put yourself back in that place in time. You can, in your memory.
Yeah, sometimes like there's a smell that I'll come across that will put me in.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, there's a
only when I'm staying over.
It puts me in my like early grade school days. Like cafeteria. Like the cafeteria always had a smell, and sometimes I'll get a whiff of this, and it'll put me right back into like the 3rd and 4th grade.
Thank you, New Jersey school system.
Thank you very much. Real quick,
that's a nod to the NJ school system.
Well, I wanted to go through this, and then we'll start to wrap this up. So, the Fate of the Furious is combined foreign and domestic box office. Yeah, $1.158 billion
to date. Dude, it's only been open like a month?
Yeah.
That's insane.
May 7th. Domestic is actually at 200 domestically.
Okay.
It's a 250 million budgeted movie, but like holy crap, dude. Like it is
they've already grossed over $1 billion.
Yeah.
To date for a month. Dude, that's insane.
So, when we compare this to the Fast and Furious, we'll just say like that's a return movie in this one. Budgets are drastically different. It had 106 million.
For the very first one?
Well, the Fast and Furious 6. I'm sorry, that's what we're comparing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
6 had 160 million budget. This one had 250.
Yeah.
Okay, but
it's only less than 100 million budget, which isn't it's a big jump. Yeah, it's a very big budget, but thinking about it's less than 100 million jump.
Yeah, and
all the extra special effects, it's kind of
the domestic gross though. What is 6 had 240 domestically. We're roughly at 200 for 8, but that's still pretty good. Like there's still a huge audience for this movie, and I'll tell you one thing. I kind of said it a couple times with the other Marc. I thought the premise for the Fate of the Furious wasn't like a hype premise. There was nothing exciting about the premise. Yeah. And that could have prevented like that extra like 20-40 million of happening at the box office because it wasn't like an idea that pulled people in. Yeah. I don't think it was. Like someone going rogue on the team the top guy going rogue on the team. Like, you're really like not like into it.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it all before.
And when it gets away from the premise of what these movies have been about, is regards to his outlook on family. I'm
right. I'm hoping that by the time we're in 10, that we're having a huge chunk of 10 where it goes back to the first movie.
Yeah,
where like the
I'm hoping that 10
ends with some level of like street racing.
Yeah, you're hoping. I'm hoping because now they've opened the Pandora's box, so to speak, that they can time jump. They can age Vin Diesel.
Oh yeah,
and they can bring in another actor to be his son.
Oh, yeah.
And they can make it so that his son is getting involved in street racing.
Well, here's the funny thing.
I mean, that's got to be what they do.
And a lot of people weren't discussing this. The Furious franchise now has 2 children. Paul Walker's child and Vin Diesel's child.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, dude. Like, you can have a spin-off movie with the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Okay? Played by The Rock. Have The Rock play both of them. Give The Rock a blonde wig for Paul Walker's son. Let him play his straight for Vin Diesel's son. And then put The Rock in a double twin role. And I just want them to call it The Rock and the Furious. Like, and that's all, man. Like, that's what we're doing. But no. Anyway. But yeah. So like in all, right? We enjoy Terminator Genisys because we just want to sit down and watch a fun robot futuristic movie.
Oh yeah.
Right. And there's nothing. Look at you. You're so hardcore with your Tinder girl.
No, this is somebody else.
Oh, who's that?
I can't say on the air.
Oh, I know. Oh, okay.
No, you don't know.
I do know.
No, you don't know.
Oh, that one. Her. Oh, I know her.
oh, I know.
Second time during the podcast, Marc's mind gets blown. How? Every time.
The first.
Every time.
Was in Back to the Future.
Yeah, and now it's this girl.
There's a sexual assault in Back to the Future that I never knew of.
Yeah.
I got robbed by a little old lady on a motorized cart, and I never saw it coming.
Because if it happened the way it did that you think you saw, Biff would be subservient to Marty McFly.
Yeah,
and he's not. He powers him, and he makes that dude. That crack is like the whole key. The crack is like he freaking he raped her at that dance, but then they still had to kiss. So. She ended up with the original Marty McFly because she was raped and she's broken. She's broken at that moment when she has a tender moment with Marty. Like, it's awesome. But, well, you know, the story, the potential of the story implication is awesome. Not any of the acts.
Yeah.
We're not promoting capital crime punishments here. Capital crimes. Dream Warriors is an anti-capital crime podcast. We have to say it, yeah. But no.
We support capital punishment, though.
But the whole thing is like sit down, watch Terminator Genisys, like
with an open mind, just be open to what it is.
Enjoy it.
Watch it for what it is. Don't go in with a preconceived notion of what you think should happen.
With the other movies, even though like they have Easter eggs and references to the other movies, it doesn't kind of even like matter.
Yeah.
Just I don't know, like enjoy it, man. Like have a good time. It's not everything is like just like perfectly planned out. Like most of it never is.
Yeah. And let's just think about who controls the Hollywood industry.
The Jews.
Yes.
Now I'm pissed.
So on that note, I think we're going to be signing off.
I think we're done.
I think we're done now.
Oh my god. I'm holding my coffee. It just got warmer. That's how heated I am.
I see the steam coming out from the port spout.
Yeah. But really.